Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to episode
27.
what episode?
9, 11.
Is it 9?
9,
No,
20,
Luke,
28.
No.
That was an accident. I didn't purposefully say 9, 11.
What episode is it?
I don't
I gotta
remember.
check. I think it's 9, right?
It's like 40.
No, it's not.
It feels like it.
No, it's not.
My ear is still ringing.
It's episode 10. Episode 10.
Oh,
we did
10.
Episode 10. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to episode 10 of the Player to Player podcast. I'm Kirk.
I'm Luke.
And today,
my ears are ringing.
yeah, same. Luke did a big old clappity clap for sync.
I just
before.
went like this.
Nope, stop. Please don't ever do that again.
My ears are still ringing, dude.
Gosh. Yeah, same.
If you want to see it, check us out on Patreon.
We're going to put the unedited intro on Patreon. It's not very long, but it was kind of cute.
I'm kind of cute.
We'd like to remind you today that Player to Player is available in video form on YouTube, in audio on Spotify, iTunes, and Google Podcasts, and all other popular platforms. Thanks for tuning in. Please rate and review us on any of those platforms. It really helps with growth and visibility. And if you on YouTube, just leave a comment, any of that stuff. And then, like Luke said, you can check us out on Patreon.
Sorry, my ears are still ringing.
Yeah.
And I just can't.
You're sitting in the corner.
Man.
We're in a new spot, as
need
you can see.
soundproofing right here.
Yeah, you need something.
Oh, man.
Yeah.
Golly gee.
Rough.
What are we doing? We're doing the podcast. Okay. I'm
we
here.
are. We got our first review.
5 stars.
5 stars. It comes from Tim. He says, top notch. Love the guys at Player 2. Spectacular job. Thank you, Tim. We really appreciate it. If you leave a review, we will read it as long as it's not full of profanity. And
Looking at you, Tim.
we're looking at you, Tim. It's not the Tim you're thinking of. Not the profane Tim.
No, I know.
It's the nice one.
My message was to...
Oh, to that Tim?
To that Tim.
Okay, good. So let's just get right into the news.
Ubisoft is up for sale.
Allegedly. According to Bloomberg, they're reporting Blackstone and KKR and Co., the 2 biggest private equity firms in the world, have been studying the French business and have preliminary takeover interest in Ubisoft, but that the company hasn't yet entered into any serious negotiations with partners.
So just like Bloomberg's reporting on the Switch Pro, this is all a bunch of crap.
This is a lie. No, we received a statement from somebody at Ubisoft who said they haven't had any offers, and then someone was very quick to correct them and say we are not disclosing whether or not there have been. So they are definitely looking to be acquired. But we're not sure who could even do that at this point. Microsoft is not up for any acquisitions. I don't think, not of that level.
Yeah, that would be. I mean, that would be just as big as Bethesda. Like,
probably not quite that big.
It'd be pretty close.
It'd be similar, yeah, for sure. So the only thing, I mean, people have rumored EA buying Ubisoft.
Oh no,
that would be.
What are Ubisoft's big ones?
Assassin's Creed, Watch Dogs.
Oh, they'd fit right in at EA. Now that I think about it.
Absolutely, yeah. So that's what people are thinking. Hopefully that doesn't happen. I don't really want to see Sony buy them either. Nintendo is eating glue in the corner, so they're probably not going to be picking them up anytime soon. But that's just that's the rumor. That's what's out there. Who knows? Maybe THQ Nordic will buy them. Or maybe
there's
Netflix.
no way they could afford it.
Netflix could absolutely.
You think
afford
so,
it. Dude?
They just took a huge loss, though.
They took a huge, like a third value of their company or something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, it was huge, but they have the cash. Like, they're getting millions of dollars a month in subscription, and if they have anything to say about it, they'll be getting 2 to 3 times more of that because they're going to crack down on password
sharing. Reason we bring up Netflix is because they are actually looking to get into the gaming sphere of things. They actually launched some kind of gaming platform in like November, right?
Yeah. So Netflix games launched in November, and they have several mobile games that are only accessible if you have a Netflix subscription. And according to Kotaku, part of Netflix's gaming strategy has included making key hires such as Leanne Loom, who is the head of external games at Netflix. She joined last November after working at Riot Games as a director and executive producer, overseeing third-party game publishing. Mike Verdu was brought on as well. He's Netflix's vice president of games. Previously led Facebook's virtual reality division, and he was an executive at EA. And then Amir Rahimi, he was president of games at mobile game company Scopely and is now the vice president of game studio. So they've brought on a lot of talent.
Yeah, definitely.
Some big names who've been in the industry for a while.
Right. Do you think they're trying to do Game Pass?
Well, like, I mean,
like what Amazon's doing, or it's so I just don't.
Well,
understand.
Amazon's not really like. Well, I guess it is kind of Game Pass. It's more like Stadia.
Right, but it's a monthly subscription fee that gets you a category of games.
Right. It's a Game Pass.
When I say Game Pass, like that's what I'm referring to.
Sure.
I just don't.
Well, Netflix wants to add games because they're losing. They're losing a lot of people. They're losing a lot of money, and they need something. This is kind of them grasping at straws.
Yeah, it's just strange to me. Like the only thing that would bring me to Netflix to play games is exclusives.
Well,
and that might not even do it.
They're working on
how do you play the mobile games?
I'm not actually sure. I don't know if you have to have the app or if you have to download it and then sign in with Netflix. It's something like that.
Interesting.
I'm pretty sure you download it and then with Netflix. Their next big project is the adaptation of Exploding Kittens. So they're making a mobile game, and that's slated to release next month. And then they're also doing the TV show, which will be coming out later this year.
What if Netflix targets like a family gaming service, like Jackbox, and like they do games like that, like Jackbox, Exploding Kittens, Monopoly, like Settlers of Catan. They bring all that to the platform because Netflix is something that the entire families use, right?
Sure. Yeah.
And then what if it turns into like?
I mean, the games they've put forth so far are like family friendly games, but there's like a mini golf and there's just dumb phone games really. So I'm not really sure.
Yeah, but like I mean, think of like Wii Sports on Netflix,
sure.
Or something
do that,
like that.
Yes, but that's not what they're doing. So that's what they should do.
Yeah,
probably,
no, I agree. I think if they were to target like the family audience, because there's so many families that would play games together,
totally,
like Yahtzee and like all that, but they don't have but they're not going to buy a game system to do it. But if Netflix had a gaming section that you could just go in on your TV. And then, you go to your Netflix app, you scroll down to games, and then you can just play a game with everyone.
With your remote
and
or something.
They could even do a Jackbox type system, if not just grab Jackbox games, but like they could do a Jackbox type system where everyone's phone is the controller, and they could develop games for that. See, that actually is really interesting to me. And if Netflix or Amazon or anyone was to go in that route, that's something I would use.
Well, yeah, we'll see. So far they haven't shown any promise in that direction.
Well, yeah, I mean, I don't know, like the idea just came to my head, and now I'm like actually thinking about it. Because there's so many times where I go over to a friend's house and like I want to play a game like Jackbox or whatever, but I don't have my Switch with me.
Right.
So like being able to, do you have Netflix? Like just jump into their Netflix account and play games would be really cool.
For sure. Yeah, I don't know. I don't think Netflix by Ubisoft.
I don't either.
I think that would be. I mean, if they, I don't know. we'll see what they do. They're trying to get into gaming. There's a couple studios that are kind of going around trying to get sold. But speaking of which, Embracer Group just bought Square Enix's Western division. So Sweden-based Embracer Group has acquired the video games development studio Crystal Dynamics, Eidos Montreal, and Square Enix Montreal for only $300 million in cash and debt. So this includes franchises such as Tomb Raider, Deus Ex, Thief, and Legacy of Kain, as well as another 50 backlog games from Square Enix. and it's expected to close by September. So this is a huge acquisition. Embracer Group is owned by THQ Nordic, and they've been buying up a lot of studios lately. They recently bought Saints Row's developers as well. So they've been buying up studios for a little bit now. But Tomb Raider is, I mean, that's a legendary IP.
Tomb Raider.
Tomb
Raider's a huge franchise. I mean, this purchase, like, Tomb Raider was driving that, right? I mean, they got a bunch of smaller stuff, but nothing on the size of Tomb Raider.
I mean, Deus Ex it's
pretty big.
But
yeah,
you're right. Tomb Raider is, I mean, yeah, it's a big deal. It was a good purchase, and again, there's like another 50 IPs that they got access to through that. So
right.
It was probably just, I mean, THQ's been trying to get more AAA studios, and they're really growing to the size of a Bethesda or an Ubisoft.
So when does their deal with Game Pass come?
What do you mean?
I want this whole catalog on Game Pass now. So
for sure.
Somebody from Microsoft should be on the phone.
Yeah.
Giving them a call.
Well, I mean, that's usually on an individual basis, publisher sort of thing. And there's like the EA Play, but that's because they already had that, and
yeah.
So, but yeah, that's what's going on with THQ. Tomb Raider is with them now.
Next, we have the Steam Deck, which is getting a lot of support.
Yeah, so Valve is killing it over there. So at the time of posting, there are now just over 1,200 games that are fully verified on the Steam Deck. And on top of that, there's another 1,100, almost 1,200, that are considered playable. So that just means
like controller functionality, you might need to change that a little bit. Maybe some functions don't work quite right.
Right,
stuff like that.
You have to tweak the settings, or there's something. One example I saw was like a name or a text box would pop up for you to type in, and you don't have a keyboard.
Oh,
so you
I
have
see.
to manually pull up the on-screen keyboard to do it. And so, which actually,
but they're playable.
It's not a big deal.
Right? Yeah, totally.
Exactly. They're playable.
I mean, I personally was a little concerned when they were bringing out the Steam Deck because like
it wouldn't have support.
the Steam box, Steam what was it called?
I forget.
Like their
Steam
machine. Yeah, that like released and then nothing. Right. And same with the Index. Like the Index has like not seen much support from Valve.
Well,
like
software wise, it's a VR headset. It's made to play VR. It's not made to.
Right, I understand.
There's
that,
not a lot
like,
of first-party titles, but they've supported it.
Kind of. When I was
updates and stuff.
Looking, when I was doing research on which one I wanted to buy, whether I was going to buy the Quest or save up until I could buy the Index, people were saying that their customer service was really spotty with it, and that they were like hard to get a hold of, and that they like somebody had been waiting on like months and months for yeah, but it's just something that doesn't give me a lot of like confidence, but like the fact that they're working on making sure all of these games are playable is huge. I mean, that's really significant.
Yeah, and they're being manually verified. People are going through one at a time testing these.
Can I have that job?
Yeah. It's probably not fun.
I disagree.
No, it's like go into a game, push every button, get out of the game, do that 12 more times, and then make sure it works.
Yeah.
That sounds terrible.
More fun than what I do.
Yeah,
exactly.
Anyways, when the Steam Deck launched in February, there were only 399. So in the past few months, they've more than tripled the number of supported games. And those are fully verified games. Like it'll have the green checkmark deck verified. So those are ready to go. You download it and you can play, and you shouldn't have any issues.
Right.
So that's really exciting. It's good to see that being supported. Like you said, they don't have a great track record of supporting their hardware, so it seems like they really believe in the Steam Deck. So.
Yeah, and I mean everyone who I've seen uses it, loves it. Like they all have like their stuff about it, and then they talk about how they just couldn't put it down because they're playing all of these games in portable mode, and how like they never thought they would be playing them. So I mean, it seems like this thing has a lot of momentum, and it feels like what happens a lot of times is like a company releases something and then they struggle to give it momentum during the initial spike, so the like love behind it or all of the attention for it like kind of falls off. Like Pokemon Go is a really good example, stuff like that. So I think it's really cool that they're like heavily supporting it. I think that's awesome. But
so this last week Switch Sports came out, and if you remember back to the Wii Remote days, there is a warning at the beginning of this game that says, please wear your wrist strap. That is for a reason.
We're already talking about this.
Do you remember the Wii Remotes and TVs, Luke?
Yeah.
Well, now we're getting Joy-Cons and TVs.
Yeah, and so I like this happened like the day after release, right?
I think it was the day of.
It was
streaming. So his name is 63 Man. I guess 64 Man was taken. Went viral over the weekend when he casually tossed his red Joy-Con at his monitor while playing tennis. And if you look the clip up, he like strikes and it just flies right out of his hand. And he just like, oh no, he's so devastated, and he goes up and looks. So that's a big bummer. I wanted to play the clip for you, but I don't. You go look it up, you'll find it. But
already.
Yep, that's
if you were playing Switch Sports right here, use your wrist strap.
Please use your wrist strap.
No, use it for the sake of your television
and your cat
and well, more your television.
Your plants.
Use your wrist strap.
Use your wrist strap. Next up, Meta's Reality Labs, so their VR division, has lost $3 billion
That's
on VR.
That's insane.
Since 2020. So I don't understand any of this, so I'm just going to read the excerpt from the article that I have here. It says Meta's overall headcount was about 78,000 as of March 31st, an increase of 28% year over year. This is again from Kotaku. This is a quote from Facebook. We're proud of the game's expansive and grossing story-driven campaign. Oh, that's a different thing. I can't read. Anyways. I'm going to start over from Meta's overall headcount. This is going to be a lot of editing in the podcast. Meta's overall headcount was 77,805 as of March 31st, an increase over 28% year over year. So they're doing this for a reason. They're trying to get mass adaptation of VR, and as far as I'm concerned, they're doing a great job.
Yeah, I know they're nailing it. They're doing a really good job.
Their Quest 2s. I mean, for $300, I think they're losing out on hardware. Mm-hmm. They must be losing out on software and development and all of the.
Yeah, do you think that
hiring
they're giving developers money to develop games for their platforms? Or...
Well, they have their own studios, so that's probably where.
Oh, okay. Well, I feel like some amount of that is R&D. Right, like it's got to be, like
sure.
we already have had rumors about a Quest 3 and a Quest 4, both. So like, there's definitely some R&D going into this. But I don't think this is like. I mean, obviously, all losses are bad, but this is not a bad sign. Well, I don't think this is a bad sign.
Only because they have the numbers to excuse it.
Right, and I think a lot of people are going to take this as a bad sign, but it's not a bad sign until you get ads on your headset as soon as you start it up. That's a bad sign. Well, at that point,
that'll happen eventually. That's how the world works. But hopefully in VR it'll be done more tastefully, and hopefully we can control that as the consumer, because we just have to be willing to pay for things. That's when websites were getting popular and Google and Facebook and all that stuff, they could have charged, but instead we decided to go with an ad-based system, and that was truly on the consumer. So
if after this report came out, you put your headset on and there was an ad, you'd be like, "Oh shoot, they're really
I'm
hemorrhaging
saying that's
money."
Inevitable, unless we try not to. But I agree. I don't think this is a bad sign. I think I think the fact that they have so many people signing up and buying headsets, fine. And it makes sense that they lose money on it. PlayStation's been losing money on hardware since like 1999. So there's precedent for it for sure. But it sounds like a lot. $3 billion.
Yeah, absolutely.
They've lost on VR. So it is technically a loss, but I don't think I would consider it a loss.
Yeah, no, I don't either. And let's see, what 77,000 times 300. Oh, that's only $20 million.
Yeah.
3 billion is a really big number.
Yeah, well, I mean, if it costs them $500 to make the headset, it just depends on how much they're losing on the headset, how much they put into software development that they haven't gotten back, how much they put into salaries, Next up, we have Sony requiring some game devs to make free trials for PlayStation Plus. So this is kind of cool, and it's also kind of dumb. Let me read you what I got here. It says these limited time game trials are one of the main perks for Sony's new PlayStation Plus premium tier launching June 13th in the US. It would mean subscribers could play the first 2 hours of games like Forspoken, which is a first-party PlayStation game, Gotham Knights, and the new Saints Row. So these are new AAA games that are coming to PlayStation that you would be able to play the first 2 hours for free. You just download it, you play it. Not necessarily the first 2 hours, but you get a 2-hour demo of these games at no extra cost. The problem is the game trials could end up hurting some developers' bottom lines because they can have a huge impact on game sales. I mean, for one, on Steam, you have 2 hours to play the game and then you can return it. Developers have lost a lot of money based on that business model.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, and so
another problem is they're already trying to develop the game like the night before release to get it out, and asking them to develop also another 2-hour contained demo or something. And PlayStation is not compensating them for this, but they're requiring it. So that's a problem.
Yeah, and I totally agree. And so I think what you're going to see more often than not is you're going to see developers just allowing the first 2 hours of playtime. Like you can get into it and then your timer starts,
right?
Because they're not going to want to develop an in-game demo,
right?
Or they'll develop a crappy in-game demo. And both situations can hurt them, because let's say you want to check out the new Saints Row game. You've been a fan of the franchise before. You started out, it doesn't have a great start. You decide you're not going to pick it up.
Yeah.
But there's also going to be people who wouldn't have picked it up and then go, oh, I get it, 2 hours for free, and then they jump into it, and then they end up loving it so much that they buy it. But the fact that PlayStation is requiring them to do it and not giving them any kind of incentive for it is that's the lame part. That's not great at all.
As someone subscribing to the service, you are getting a huge benefit from this. But the fact that it's not the developers aren't getting a kickback from the subscription.
Right. And this is for like their Game Pass type service, right?
Not exactly. It's so PlayStation Plus is now including like legacy content. PlayStation's not doing a Game Pass service. Not even a little bit. The only thing you're getting with those upper tiers is more legacy content. PlayStation 1 and 2, PlayStation 3, PlayStation 4 even.
So but if you subscribe to PlayStation Plus, you get demos for first party games.
Only the premium tier does. Yeah.
Right, but that premium tier doesn't get those. They don't get to play those games anyway. Right. Okay. Yeah, that makes way more sense. Right. I was confused for a moment because I was
that's what I'm saying.
Wait a second. Like you have right, exactly.
Xbox first party games, you get to play them on Game Pass day.
Right.
PlayStation's not doing any of that.
Yeah.
Unless they decide, hey, we're gonna do that for this game, which they might do, and they have done on PlayStation now. But they're probably not. I mean, God of War, there's no way they're doing that. Like they want to sell copies.
Are they gonna do a 2-hour demo for their first party games?
Depends.
If they're going to require developers to, then they 100%
I totally
have
agree.
to.
Yeah, I totally agree. But the whole point of this story is that it's a lame thing to do. So regardless of whether they're doing it or not, I mean, you're right. It does make it worse if they're not going to do it.
Yeah.
And they're making other people do it. It's a neat idea, and I like the idea of offering 2-hour demos of the new AAA games. But I don't know. It seems like more negatives to me on the developer side. It just doesn't make sense.
Yeah, no, I totally agree. I think they should, instead of, I've never played to the end of a demo, but what it should happen is, which I think this would actually be good for developers and sales, is as soon as your time is up, a box pops up on your screen that says demo time expired. Would you like to purchase this game for this much?
Yeah, right.
And a yes or no, right? Because how many people might be in the middle of a cutscene they're invested in, or in the middle of a conversation, and then they just like, yes, I want to buy it, and then it takes them to the purchase page,
depending on
and then
how
puts
the demo
them
works.
and then puts them right back into the game.
A fixed portion of the game.
Yeah, exactly.
If it's actually truly the first 2 hours of the game, which I think is the best way to.
Right.
But the problem with that is if it's only, I mean, if you get most of your content, like I know in the first 2 hours of game, most of the time, if I'm going to like the game or not.
Right. Yeah,
so
absolutely.
I foresee developers losing money more than.
Yeah, maybe.
Especially
we'll
because
see.
they're not getting a kickback. If they're getting a kickback from the subscription and they're like, hey, we'll give you.
Totally. For every demo played, you get.
But that's development time they're not getting paid for. That doesn't make sense.
Right. Yeah. No, I totally agree.
You know what else doesn't make sense? When Miyamoto takes over the Twitter account.
Wait, what?
Everybody thinks this Nintendo tweet. At first, they thought it was. I thought it was a fake.
Like they got hacked. Yeah, totally. I read the first.
Either they got hacked or like it's a meme from a different account.
Right.
But, you know. But the tweet says,
this
awesome. Is Miyamoto. After consulting with Chris Sound, my partner at Illumination on the Super Mario Bros. Film, we decided to move the global release to spring 2023, April 28th, in Japan and April 7th in North America. My deepest apologies, but I promise it will be well worth the wait. Which, I mean, that it does kind of sound like Miyamoto, but because it's in a tweet, it's just it's so uncanny.
That's kind of funny.
Chris San is not Chris Pratt, unfortunately. Talking about the executive at Illumination.
However, they're delaying it because Chris Pratt is too busy with Guardians. That's not true, but I don't know if that's accurate. But we've got the holiday special coming up. We got Guardians 3 coming up, you know.
Right? The holiday special comes out next December.
Yeah. You don't think they've started filming for either of them yet?
It doesn't come out this December, right? I think it's next December.
I think you're right.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't think Chris is busy with Guardians at all.
No,
he just got done with Jurassic Park.
You're probably right.
And he's just doing voiceover, so it's not that.
Yeah, totally. He's just like does it in his car.
Miyamoto delays things because he wants to. Like that's why he delays things. And he says he promises it'll be worth the wait. So Miyamoto believes in it. So if there's one guy I'm gonna give the benefit of the doubt, it's Shigeru Miyamoto. So I'm bummed because I was actually really looking forward to this being in December, but a couple more months is not.
Yeah, it's not
a big deal.
It's not huge.
So we're still waiting on a first trailer, so we'll see. I'm again skeptical, but willing to.
Yeah, we should be close to a trailer. I mean, we're a year out now. And
but
a
year out for a trailer is a long time. You think back to Star Wars 7 when they released their first trailer. It was a full year until the release. It was the longest year of my life.
No, I'm saying we should be close to it. You know, like
totally.
Next couple months we should be getting a teaser or something.
Trailer.
Yeah.
Or teaser, but now they could wait till September.
Yeah. Well, I don't. Maybe they do a big direct in the summer and they end it with the teaser trailer or something like that. But
still like 8 months ahead of time, so we'll see. It'll probably be at a Nintendo. That's where we'll get the trailer.
Yeah. No, I agree.
So, all right. Well,
what's tomorrow?
Tomorrow is Star Wars Day. Today is Star Wars Day. If you're listening to this,
that's true.
If you're listening to this on Thursday, then yesterday was Star Wars Day.
And if you're listening to it
no, let's
in September,
oh my
then May the 4th, 2022 was Star Wars Day.
That's tomorrow or today or yesterday or last month. Who knows?
Or whenever you're listening to it.
Basically, we're going to talk about Star Wars. We thought about some things. We thought about doing a Star Wars game tier list.
But he hasn't played any. So
shut up. I've played like 3/4 of them. You've played like a quarter of them.
I've played Lego Star Wars and the game that we're doing today, Knights of the Old Republic.
Knights of the Old Republic. So what we're going to do is
your favorite thing? A tier list.
We're going to go through all of the companions in Knights of the Old Republic 1 and 2, and we are going to rank them by
and the remake, if you think about it.
Right?
No.
Oh. How are we going to rank them?
Least attractive.
Least attractive. Well, we'll start with Luke's player character.
This is just this is just a tier list. Just regular, good old fashioned tier list. That's what we're doing.
So we're gonna mostly go in order of how you encounter them throughout the game.
For the most part, some of them,
beware of spoilers. Some of these are definitely spoilers. If you played the game before, feel free to listen. If you haven't, I would actually recommend you not listen.
Yeah, just jump to the next.
Skip to the next
timestamp.
We don't have time, but just skip until the tier list thing is gone, and you'll understand.
Editor should get on that.
Well, as soon as we get one, I will pay him to do that. So we're gonna start with Karth Onasi. Luke, where does he go?
Down you go.
D tier.
No.
Down.
Up you go.
Up you go.
Up you go.
Karth is a good old Republic soldier.
Okay.
He follows orders and he does exactly as he's told.
Karth is great, but he's a little annoying during gameplay.
No, he's not.
Oh, yes, he is. Absolutely. He absolutely is.
How?
There's something on Karth's mind. He might want to talk to you.
That's the gameplay. That's not Karth's fault.
Listen. Hey, Karth, what's going on? Leave me alone. I don't trust you. But why not? I don't trust you. Okay? There's something on Karth's mind. You should talk to him.
That's the gameplay.
I still don't trust you.
Yeah.
No, it's Karth's dialogue. It's Karth's, and I mean, of course.
Karth doesn't trust anybody. It's because of Saul Kareth. His admiral.
Spoilers.
I said that already.
That's true. So this is officially spoiler free. So you're Revan in the first game.
You said spoiler free, and then you gave the biggest spoiler.
Not spoiler free. You know what I mean.
There you go. I didn't.
Anyways, Karth is a solid.
Karth is A tier.
Yeah, I think
he's got one of the most interesting backstories.
He definitely has
He has one of the most interesting endings of any of the characters, regardless of dark or light side. Big fan of Karth.
For sure. I would agree with that too. I think at the moment I'm okay with him in A. I could see him top of B, but we'll have to see where everything else falls.
Just die already. We have Mission Veo. She's 12, right?
I thought she was 15.
Oh, maybe. No, I think you're you're right. Maybe she met Zalbar when she was 12.
I think Mission is a great companion. I think the way that you get her on Paris is really interesting, and how she kind of like strong arms you a little bit into helping her.
Yep.
And she's
very resourceful,
super resourceful. The kind of the problem with all the companions in the first coder is that Jedi are just so overpowered that why would you take anyone else with you other than Jedi? Right. Especially when you can train all of your companions in any skill.
Well, at this point in the game, you don't really have a choice.
No, that's true. I just like kind of late game.
Yeah.
But her story arc on Tatooine is amazing.
Oh, with her brother?
Yeah, it's sure. Super cool.
Yeah.
And then that continues a little bit after Tatooine, if I remember right.
Yeah, I think you run into her brother one.
Yeah, like one more time.
Kashyyyk, I think.
Yeah, I think you're right. It's so I don't know. I feel like she belongs right up next to Karth.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think Karth's backstory is a little more interesting, so I would leave Karth in front of her. But yeah, no, she's
her
a
love
great
and
companion.
devotion to Zalbar is be awesome too. It's the first Wookiee life debt we've seen in Star Wars. That's really more of a two-way thing. I mean, other than
Right.
Han and Chewie.
Yeah.
Course, but so Zalbar, I think, also goes up in the A tier right next to Mission because
Really?
they're inseparable. Also, Zalbar's stuff on Kashyyyk is awesome. Like the thing with the tribe leader and him being banned from the village, and he has to go to the Shadowlands, and then he crawled his way up out of the Shadowlands, and he ended up at Bonteris, and then he saved Mission from or did Mission save him? I think Mission.
No, they were fighting him, and like what are the Becks? Not the Becks.
No, not
the other
Zerka
ones.
Corporation.
Nope, not Zerka. It's the other gang.
Rejik's gang?
Yeah, what's that gang name? The Volkers?
The Volkers, yeah.
The Volkers, yeah. So
the Black Volkers.
The Volkers were picking on Zalbar. Mission runs up, tells them to leave him alone.
That's right.
One of the Volkers slaps her in the face, and Zalbar rips his arms off.
Right.
And then then they're inseparable. I think Mission and Karth are both significantly more interesting companions than Zalbar, though.
Yeah, but Zalbar and Mission are so intertwined.
No, I don't like if they're that intertwined. I would bump Mission down before I would bump Zalbar up.
Right,
like I think Zalbar belongs.
I really like the Wookiee stuff on Kashyyyk with Zalbar.
But other than that,
chieftain,
that's pretty much it.
Well,
like,
there's also the big Wookiee that got banned to the Shadowlands that you have to fight, and Zalbar's got beef with him.
Right. There's not a lot of like other than Kashyyyk. There's nothing else about
true.
him. You know what I mean?
There's
like
more to Mission.
Yeah. There's not the dialogue with him. There's not
the dialogue with Zalbar is awesome.
No, it is, but it's not like as in-depth storytelling as like Mission and Karth is.
Right.
Like, and I think for a role-playing game, that's pretty significant. Like that's definitely what you want.
Bachelor's S tier.
100%. I don't like
they're just. I mean, it's just written that way. Like she has the most dialogue. She's got the most interesting. She is essentially your master, and trains you to become a Jedi and helps you with all of that. You have a lot of really interesting moral conversations with her. There's all the stuff with her mom and her backstory and her dad.
Yeah.
And then
Tatooine is such a great planet in this game.
Her endings are amazing.
Oh, yeah. All of them are.
Dark side female, dark side male, love interest or not, light side, same thing. Bastila is one of the best characters in Star Wars. She even spawned the Teal Sean, who is in Star Wars The Old Republic, her grandmother or something like that. Bastila is awesome. We stand Bastila. She's the best. She also has a double-bladed yellow lightsaber, which makes her cooler than Rey Skywalker. So,
whoa.
She's definitely cooler than Rey.
Okay, that's not what we're ranking.
Is she cooler than Rey or not?
T3M4.
Wow. Disappointing.
T3M4 is C tier.
No way!
Hold up.
You're dumb.
Explain
T3
yourself.
is the best. First of all, T3 gets you out of all the shams all the time. Anytime you get like kidnapped or whatever,
so
T3
he's Mary
comes and
Sue.
saved you. What? That's not what that means.
Okay.
Mary Sue means like inexplicably powerful. T3 is not inexplicably powerful. He's an astromech droid that helps you out of all of your shams. He also fixes the ship. He also is the best security character in the game.
Okay, now wait a second.
Hold on.
This is I need to know because this is he. Are we talking Coder 1 T3M4 or
Both.
Coder 2
Both.
or both? Okay, so
both. Between the two, he's got his own quest line in Coder 2, which is awesome, and he gets sold, and then he like breaks his way out and everything. That's an awesome quest.
There's no way he's S tier.
His dialogue is awesome, and the way that but it's so adorable. And the way that you can build a relationship with him in Coder 2 is really good. And he's the mascot of the freaking game. How are you gonna be? He's the R2 of Coder.
He's not S tier. First of all, R2 is way cooler than T3M4. Like, way cooler.
Only because we've had him for so much longer.
No, disagree. T3 is at most bottom of B tier. He has...
he's cooler than Zalbar. We're gonna put him bottom.
No, put him
That's
down.
halfway between S and C. Dang, I love T3. Canderous Ordo.
This is kind of a difficult one for me.
This one's hard, yeah. Canderous is really cool if you're dark side.
I feel like he belongs right there. I don't know, like one of the problems with
he's so cool when you first meet him,
right? But how are we like ranking this? Are we factoring in gameplay with backstory? And because there was never a time in the game where I was like, Canderous with me. Like,
I mean, his repeater is pretty powerful.
I mean,
he's
okay.
the most powerful gunner on the team.
Better than Zalbar's bowcaster?
Better than Zalbar, better than Karth, better than HK. Canderous does so much DPS.
Yeah, I don't know.
And he's so tough. Because first he's like, he works for Davik,
He works
right?
for Davik, yeah.
Yeah, and then he like turns his back on Davik and works for you and breaks you off of the planet and helps you steal Evan Hawk and helps you kill Calo Nord. And then if you bring him with you, he has really cool dialogue in almost every situation. Just as much as Karth does, but he's like the anti-Karth.
Right. Yeah, that's true. I can see that.
If you're dark side, Canderous is really fun to have around. He's always about credits and revenge and
right.
He's
also
like there.
He also is a Mandalorian.
Well, that doesn't really come up in the first game.
Does it not come up at all?
I don't think.
I'm pretty sure
I think if you get to the end of his
he fights in the Mandalorian Wars.
That, yeah.
And he fought against Jedi. Like, you do know that.
He was Mandalorian. I think he became Mandalorian.
I'm
not sure about that though. I don't remember.
Yeah, I think for dialogue's sake alone, top of B. Yeah, absolutely. Except he's cooler than T3, but
No, he's not. Juhani, D tier.
Juhani
she's
is really interesting on Dantooine, and then that's about it.
Yeah, but the fact that you can kill her on Dantooine is really cool.
Well, yeah, but that doesn't Juhani is the one that no one gets on their first playthrough.
Right.
Everyone
so kind of like a secret
gets to
character.
the end of the game and they're like, who the heck is this person?
Right.
Yeah. And then you find out that you can save Juhani.
Right.
Juhani's end game is interesting, especially if you go dark side. Well, like she fights you. She'll attack you
if you save her. She stays Jedi.
Yeah, so if you save her, she stays Jedi.
Is that when
you try?
Help you kill her.
Yeah. You try and twist her back to the dark side, and she just won't.
Right.
I would put her top of B tier.
No, more than Canderous.
Maybe right in between them.
Yeah.
I've spent so much time with Juhani because she's one of the
kind of cool
first Jedi that you get, so other than Baslet. So I've spent a lot of time with her. Her dialogue is really interesting too. Especially when you do dark side stuff, she more of questions it but doesn't tell you you're wrong,
Yeah. Sometimes she'll yell at you. Sometimes she's straight
sure,
up.
But
that's why I was gonna say on Manon she's really interesting because she wants to give that guy another chance, like the whole detective thing or whatever, and she's like, because I was given another chance, he deserves.
Yeah.
And so she's super down to help you prove his innocence, which is just a cool quest line. Jolie and Juhani both on Manon are really interesting.
Yeah.
But she's not quite Karth or Mission.
Yeah, no, I'm with you there. HK.
I feel like HK is either top of B or bottom of A.
I was gonna say top of A, if not S. I love HK.
Over Karth though?
Oh yeah, HK is so good. You wanted to put T3M4 in S. Okay, so they probably belong. HK is cooler than T3. His dialogue is hilarious.
His dialogue is hilarious.
So funny. The way you acquire him is really interesting. He's very he's very fun to just use
Die, Jedi darts.
all the cool droid parts, you know, like you really get to use them on him. There's even specific ones you can't use on T3. You can use on
the chassis.
Him. Yeah. But yeah, I don't know. And then in Coder 2,
he's cool. Coder 2 is really cool because you have to put him back together.
Put him back together.
You find the different pieces on all the planets and reassemble him, and then his backstory is even really interesting. And then when he runs into the HK,
it's so funny.
Other HK,
he's so upset with them.
Yeah,
he doesn't understand why they were made because he is the perfect assassin.
Yeah,
and he
totally.
He's
all right.
He's really.
I'll put him over Mission. How about that?
Yeah. Okay. I'm okay with that.
No, dude, Mission's brother's story is so cool.
Yeah.
And the Tusken Raiders and like the whole reason you're on Tatooine.
HK is awesome on Tatooine too. Like he talks to the Tuskens, you know,
that's
like
where you find it. Yeah,
he translates for you,
good,
you know. So
and his end game is awesome because no matter what you do, he follows you.
Yeah, and I think that's probably right.
Love HK.
Yep.
Jolie Bindo, are we going S tier?
S tier.
Jolie's so cool. He's Qui-Gon Jinn. Like he's upset with the Jedi Order. He thinks they're idiots, but he's still down to be one.
He's a grumpy old man.
He's a grumpy old gray Jedi, which is so freaking cool. And his interactions with Bastila are hilarious. His interactions with Karth are hilarious. His interactions with Mission are even better because he's just a grandpa to her all the time. I love Jolie. I love the way that he interacts on Manon when you do that quest. I love his end game.
Better than Karth?
Because Jolie, if you turn dark side, just bails, right?
Yeah, you can kill him.
I don't think you can.
I'm pretty sure you can.
I don't remember. I think he's.
I've tried to.
I love the way he calls you kiddo. I love the way that he.
Yeah. I don't know.
When you surprise him, he's really. You don't think S tier?
No, I don't think he's better than Karth. Like,
I think he's.
I think right in between. Jedi. Karth's backstory is rivals Bastila for interesting.
I mean, sure, but Karth is useless in battle.
Well, sure. I mean, I agree with that, but like, pretty much every non-Jedi character is useless
Jolie
in battle.
does mind tricks on people for you sometimes, and
it's true.
I love Jolie.
I don't know, maybe top of A. Him and Bastila are just on different tiers for me. Like Bastila is hard to get up there. That's kind of what I was saying about how, like, I don't know, do Karth and Mission, are they more B tier and the rest are C tier? Like, I don't know. I think you could bump Karth down, like those two rows down a tier.
I'm good with this
personally, but all right. Well, that does it for Coder 1. Now, a quick note on Coder 2, which is I feel like is going to be really difficult to not skew this and just put all these guys at the top. Is that the influence meter worked differently? So there is no influence meter in Coder 1. It's story beats. So it's right time, right place. And if you don't have the character with you, you can just miss out on that story. As opposed to Coder 2, pretty much every time you finish a dialogue with one of your companions.
Or with NPCs and their presence.
Right. Or if they're just with you, it gives you.
Lose influence.
Correct. It's very similar to like BioWare games. Do the Mass Effect games have that meter?
Yep.
Yeah. Okay. So pretty much seems like all the other BioWare RPGs has that, which is a really popular just thing with RPGs in general. But starting off with Atten, who goes right to S tier.
Yeah, right to S tier. Atten is super fun to turn into a Jedi or a Sith. He definitely has that come to Jesus moment when he learns about the Force, and it's really compelling and it's super cool. He either goes full on revenge mode or he goes on full on forgiveness mode. Atten's really cool. Big fan of Atten.
Yeah, same, absolutely. And you get Atten and Kreia on Paragus, and Kreia, same thing. She goes right to the top. She might be the most interesting character in both games.
Yep.
When on your first playthrough, you just don't understand what's going on because you gain influence, you lose influence all the time. She's not consistent at all.
What's happening?
Well, right, but you don't understand that when you're first playing the game, and you don't understand like what is going on, because you'll start being a good guy and she'll praise you for it, and then you'll help someone and she'll be like, they're not worth our time. Why are you helping? Like, we needed those credits. And you're like, what is going? So I would like literally save the game before I would talk to Kreia, so that because I wanted to get high influence with her, which
ends up
kind of turns out to not matter that much. I mean, she does give you some interesting dialogue if you have high influence with her, but that's pretty much it.
Yep. Beodur goes top of A tier. Beo is super interesting. I think. How did Jolie get up there? Use you. Yeah, he's really interesting. His stuff about the Mandalorian Wars is really cool. His voice actor is probably the best voice actor out of the two games.
His energy arm is cool.
Energy arm is so sweet, and how it disrupts shields and stuff.
Doesn't have that much use, but it just looks awesome, you know? Like,
and then he's like the coolest looking
one
Jedi
of the
ever.
really cool things.
Dude, he looks so cool as a Sith with all his face paint and stuff.
One of the really cool things that Coder 2 did, well, partially in part that you can train most of your companions to be Jedi, is that they really balanced it out. Like and also because of influence, that factors in who you take with you.
Right.
You know, like if like I took Beodur with me to Duxon, which is the moon that all the Mandalorians are on, because of his history with the Mandalorians, which turns out
being really interesting.
Maybe you shouldn't have brought him with you. Like, you know, so it's really cool how they do that. I don't think I think you're right. I think he goes right there. I don't think he quite bumps up a tier. But yeah, I think that's perfect.
And then Handmaiden, I think probably goes right there. I think. She's really cool. She's cool. Once you gain enough influence with her, you learn a lot about her backstory and how she came into the service of Atris and what her past was like and what her name is and who her parents were and things like that. And I think you run into her parents on Dantooine, or something like that, because she's from there, I think. I don't remember it. It's been a long time. But she's super interesting. Big fan of her. And then she only ever wears the handmaiden garbs until you gain enough.
Oh, you train her to be a Jedi. Yeah.
Well,
yeah,
I don't think you have to necessarily train her to be a Jedi.
Oh, really? Interesting.
But once you gain enough influence, you can get her to.
Yeah, I didn't spend a ton of time with her.
She has all these vows that she's made to Atris.
Right.
That you get her to like realize is foolish and how Atris manipulated her and things like that. Atris is bad news.
Right.
But yeah, super cool. She's cool, Sith or Jedi. Sith is harder, but Jedi is really cool. And then we have Mandalore, who's probably right.
I don't know. I think I'd bump him. Yeah, I think that's a good spot for him. The fact that you find out he's Canderous is like, what?
That's what makes him super interesting.
I think you suspect it at first. Well, other than the droids, but I think you like suspect it at first because it's obviously the same voice actor. But then you're like,
how long it's
well,
been,
you know, maybe that's just the voice actor. Right. Like, you know, who knows that? And then when you find out that it's Canderous and how he became Mandalore and like that he went back to the Mandalorians and finding all that out is just crazy.
Yeah,
crazy.
And then the same thing. All the cool stuff on Duxon. You find out how he led the Mandalorians.
And so in order to find out he's Mandalore, you have to get him to take his helmet off, right? Which he doesn't. He takes his helmet off, doesn't he?
I don't think so. He ever takes.
I could have sworn that's.
He just tells you his name was Canderous.
Maybe I really thought that you got it by he sets aside being Mandalore at some point, and then he takes his helmet off because he's no longer Mandalore.
I don't remember.
Maybe not.
Either way, he's really interesting. Super good. They kind of all the writing is just better in Coder 2 because they added the influence and they added,
oh my gosh, Coder 1 remake. I would love the influence meter in that.
It'll be better. I'm pumped.
Yeah.
Anyway, Disciple, he's super cool. But he's not that cool.
I feel like he belongs in B tier. Like right above Juhani at least. Yeah, probably in front of Canderous. Yeah. It's really cool how you find him.
In the Broken Jedi Temple
on Dantooine.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah, he's super cool, and he's in there studying Jedi.
And also, you're like,
that.
it's so strange that you find a Jedi.
Not a Jedi.
Oh no, you're right. You're right. He's the easiest one to make a Jedi, which is why I always like.
You can make him a Jedi the first time you meet him.
Yeah, you can make him a Jedi really quickly. Yeah.
But that's just because of the way his dialogue trees.
Right. Exactly. That's why I always like. Yeah, disciples Jedi. But yeah, you're right. He's
he's
actually
he's an archaeologist or something like that.
Yep, studying Jedi artifacts.
But that's kind of it.
Yeah, pretty much. But that's pretty consistent with our B tier party members, right?
Yeah.
Like they all have like one thing about them,
right?
And that's it.
Visas is S tier.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Mira Luca is the Mira Luca race is so interesting.
The blind force thing.
You can see from her. So you can actually go in
when you just switched her and everything changes.
No, you have to go into. You have to go into the.
There's a force power that.
There is. Okay. Well, you have to go into first person to. Well, I mean, without that force power, if you can go into first person mode in the game,
that's right.
And when you go in as first person with Visas, you see. I just imagine how many people like were just messing around with first person and switched to her and was like, "Whoa, what did I do to my game?" Like, so.
Yeah, it's cool how she sees people, but she can't see you or Kreia. And that's kind of interesting.
Right. Yeah.
And then the way that she ambushes you, she comes to kill you, and you spare her life, and then.
And you don't get a lightsaber. Dumbest thing.
You broke the lightsaber.
Yeah.
But yeah, Visas is really cool. She's another one, Jedi or Sith, that is very interesting. Her light side outfit is pretty cool. But the dark side.
Why don't I remember that?
She wears like Jedi robes or something like that.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, but it just changes.
Yeah.
Like because she's another one you can't re-equip things.
Right.
Kreia and Visas and Handmaiden.
Yep.
But Visas and Handmaiden, or no, Handmaiden you. Oh, and Mandalore. And then Mira is probably bottom of A, I think. Maybe a couple up. Maybe like under mission.
Well, what is her storyline other than Nar Shaddaa?
I mean, nothing. But Nar Shaddaa is amazing.
Nar Shaddaa is super good, and she has the wrist rocket, which is really cool.
She has the wrist rocket, which can do different darts and things.
Yeah.
Her relationship with Hanhar is really cool because they're like trying to kill each other, but they're also friends. Then
you get one or the other. You don't get them both.
No, you get both, but not at the same time. You get Mira and then Hanhar.
Sure.
Yeah, you have to get Mira to get Hanhar. That's how it works. And then you get Hanhar to kill Mira. That's how you keep Hanhar. You have to be dark side.
Right, but you can't have them both in your party at the same time.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Yeah. I don't know though. I honestly think she's like top of B. I don't think she's better than HK or T3.
Really?
Yeah, because again, like let's look at B tier. All of them have something consistent about them. They all have one really cool storyline, and other than that, like
Mira's is the coolest of all of them.
Absolutely, which is why I think she goes to the top of B.
Long shot.
Yeah.
So I think bottom of it, but top of B.
Yeah.
Hanhar is kind of probably our first.
He's not fun.
He's really cool and interesting, but only because of Mira.
Right.
The Wookiee Rage ability is really cool.
It's cool.
So much damage.
Yeah, he does. I don't know. It's just like
so much damage.
I don't know. He's also. I just never enjoyed having him with me.
Yeah, me
like,
neither. He's just a dick.
Yeah.
And then there's Goat. Goat is probably
bottom of C. Yeah, I think so. I think Coder 2 gave us some of the best and some of the worst companions.
Yeah, I don't know. It's cool how he's a big crime lord that like sends his robot with you to keep watch over you and stuff. That's pretty interesting. And his whole like yacht capturing you is pretty cool. But
yeah,
as far as usefulness,
right,
pretty low. So.
And his health is super low too. T3. And like, yeah, exactly. Like, why would you carry him with you when you have T3?
The story is cool, and I like that he captures you, and I like how that all turns out and everything. That he sends a droid with you. It's really fun to experience. But yeah, you're right. But that's
I agree.
The tier list.
Yeah, that's it. So that's Coder 2. I'm actually really excited. This was really fun. We're gonna have to do this for some more video game characters in the future. Once I get you to play all the Dragon Age games, we'll have to put you through that. You know, like
through. Dragon Age,
yeah. So no, Inquisition is so good.
Inquisition's garbage.
It's so good.
It's like the epitome of an.
Oh my gosh, no, it isn't.
Not a fan.
Inquisition is.
BioWare's great, dude.
Oh.
Anyways,
have you played it for more than 2 hours?
Is this the right link for your thing?
Yep.
No, I haven't played it for more than 2 hours, and it was a terrible 2 hours. And now our next segment is
V-Shop, because we are doing VR games and we aren't clever. So who wants to
V-Shop?
I'll let you go first.
I have picked a game for you, Luke.
That's good.
I want you
that is the segment.
I'm gonna see if we can use this for this. Boom. It's called Coaster Combat. Watch the hit play. All right, there we go. Oh, kinda. Oh my gosh, it's so loud.
Oh, I watched this trailer.
Have you seen this?
Yeah.
We'll show it to everyone else. Go away.
Oh
honey.
no, you're
Go
no
away,
sorry.
honey.
I haven't watched the trailer. I watched someone talk about it. You don't think this is gonna make me sick?
No.
I
It's a roller coaster.
I think this is gonna make me uber sick.
You'll find out because you're trying it.
Ugh.
I think it looks good.
Man, we'll see.
So you go on a roller coaster, but it's not just a roller coaster. There's a whole bunch of things that you're shooting and defending yourself in your coaster. And it looks really neat. There's a sci-fi one, there's a pirate one, and there's like I think a dinosaur one. I'm not sure.
Yeah.
I think there's a few different maps. They all look really cool. The thing about it though is that you're not controlling the movement. You're like sitting on the ride.
Mm-hmm.
So it should be just like riding a normal roller coaster.
I've done coaster stuff in VR before.
Really?
Yeah. Did you pick this because my eShop game sucked and you wanted me to
No, I picked it because every VR game I thought you would like did not work out because of the locomotion.
We'll see. I will give it a shot and hopefully I'm not sick for the rest of the day. Now, yours, I cheated a little bit.
Yeah, you did, because I already bought this.
Oh, you did?
Yeah.
I didn't know you bought it. Did you buy it on sale?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Well, the reason I picked Star Wars Pinball was because it was only a couple dollars. There was 2 rules that I broke. It was $250 over the limit, and it was on sale, and we're not supposed to do either. Yeah. But I figured after 2 misses, it was it was time for you to have a hit. I didn't know you owned it. Have you played it?
Nope.
There you go. So doesn't count.
It works out. Plus, I'm broke this week, so it's good.
Yeah, so we can split. We can split
so cool.
Coaster Combat.
I'm excited for this. It's cool the way you get to decorate your room and play the different.
Yeah, I figured Star Wars week. fair enough. Whoa, what? What?
There's like mini games.
That was so cool. Battles. You were fighting Darth. That looks better than Vader Immortal.
Yeah,
like that looks so cool. It
looks
did.
Really cool.
Well, yeah. So we're gonna give 2 weeks to play these.
Why?
Probably. We'll see.
We'll do it by next week.
You think so?
Yeah, totally.
We'll see.
You're just worried about moving and stuff, but
no, I'm out of no. It will be 2 weeks because I'm out of town next week. You will have a co-host or no host.
Co-host or no host, that's our favorite game to play when Luke's out of town. Speaking of favorite games to play when Luke's out of town, because these come out this week.
Smooth.
Wait, not yesterday. Oh yeah, so a couple days ago, Sifu Vengeance Edition came out.
Seafood?
This is the martial arts. game that just came out on PlayStation. It looks really fun, and like every time you die, instead of dying, you just age several years and get stronger, but you also get slower. It's kind of neat. The Vengeance Edition is the special edition that comes with all kinds of cool physical stuff because they didn't do physical initially. So the game's already out, but this is a special edition. Also on May 5th, which will be the day after this comes out, Trek to Yomi is coming out. And it's the black and white kind of samurai Kurosawa movie game, which I'm very excited for. This will be on Game Pass as well.
Okay.
So that's definitely a download and try if you've got the Xbox. It looks fun. It just looks like a samurai movie that you get to play through, and it changes angles for you, and it's apparently it's pretty hard. So that looks pretty cool. And then also this week, again, May's kind of a slow month for video games.
Yeah, this was interesting to me.
But Among Us is doing a special edition. It's called the Ejected Edition. Comes out May 6th. You can pre-order it right now online, and it'll be PS5, Series X, PS4, Xbox
and
One,
it comes
Switch.
with a bunch of like swag, merch.
A ton of swag. It comes with a plushie. It comes with a map. It comes with a pin. It comes with a keychain. It comes with all kinds of stuff.
So basically, that's what you're buying, and then you also get a physical copy of the game.
Well,
but
physical, you always physical, forever physical. That's the whole thing with limited run. So yeah, I think those are that's pretty much all that's coming out this week. So yeah, that's kind of all we have for you today. That's the podcast.
That's it. Check us out on Patreon for more content. Follow me, Blades at Night, YouTube, Twitter, Reddit, Letterboxd, Instagram.
All Luke's links are in the description. My website is in the description, player2.fm. All my links will be on there. You can find me on YouTube. You can find me on Twitter. You can find me on Instagram. I'm relatively active on all those, probably more so Twitter and YouTube, but YouTube is where the videos come out. So
that's
check
true.
Check out the YouTube.
Subscribe.
Comment,
check out
subscribe.
Kirk's most recent video.
Yeah, it's doing really well, actually.
Is it?
Yeah, we're talking about Game Boy Advance games and which ones I'd like to see if it comes.
I was impressed with it. So
yeah, that's doing well. Luke just did
I played Donkey Kong. I played Donkey Kong.
Yeah,
that's what I did. So check out Donkey Kong. First time I've played Donkey Kong.
They will not like his video.
Yeah, they would love it. I'm playing one of their first party titles, so they'll enjoy it. So
but thanks for listening. Thanks for
Miyamoto.
watching.
Check it out.
Thanks for subscribing
and clicking that bell.
Hope you have a great day. Bye.